All right, what is going on, guys? Got a breakdown for UFC 277. This one was on the prelims at welterweight. We got Alex Morono taking on Matt Semelsberger. Semelsberger going to have a 3-inch advantage in reach. He is 2 inches taller. Very fun fight here. One of the prelims that definitely pops off the card for me. So I will start with Alex Morono, I suppose. Putting together a nice run in his career for sure. He's won 4 of his last 5. Biggest win of his career is probably that knockout of Cowboy. I mean, Cowboy faded hard at the end of his career, as we all know, but this was considered a win to get a fight to get Cowboy back in the win column, and he still got KO'd. Just showed that there's just no tread left on the tires. Got people talking about Alex Morono a little bit too, and then he fights David Zawada. It's pretty competitive, but I think Morono pulls it out. Same deal with Mickey Gall. I think it was a little bit more convincing for Morono. Did lose to Anthony Pettis, and he was KO'd pretty bad by Chaos Williams, and I believe that might have been Chaos Williams' UFC debut. It was one of his first fights. But yeah, man, he's won a lot of fights in the UFC. I think that Alex Morono is a little bit underrated. I see why he is, because there's nothing about him that really leaps off the page. But I think he's a very efficient fighter, efficient striker for sure. Sometimes defense, he can get hit back, but he doesn't have killer power, but he has attritive power. His jabs are stiff, and again, like, it's not going to knock you out in one shot unless you're Cowboy Cerrone and your chin is just gone. But by like end of round 2, round 3, the opponent is definitely wearing it. He's got pretty good cardio, at least over a 3-round fight. He paces himself very well, and he tends to take over as the fight goes on. Again, just a very efficient fighter. He's serviceable on the ground for sure. He's gotten a ground and pound knockout over Zach Odow. Win over Max Griffin is good. Keenan Song, whatever happened to him. But yeah, it's been a solid run for Alex Morono, and like I said, a guy that I've seen as a little bit underrated in the past. He trains out of Fortis MMA, so a Texas guy, and I think that he has very good chemistry with Saif Saud. He listens very well, and I'd say him and Damon Jackson are the guys who are synced up the most with Saif Saud. So Saif Saud, very good corner man. I think when you listen to him, he's always saying the right thing. Sometimes he contradicts himself because he just yells so loud and you can hear everything he's saying. But yeah, I think he's a good coach, and I think that him and Alex Morono have good chemistry. It's something that I've marked down in the past when watching Alex Morono fight. I think it does matter. And then for Matthew Semelsberger, definitely getting a lot of hype behind him for sure. He's gotten some solid knockout wins in the past or over his past couple fights. His lone UFC loss was to Chaos Williams, though he did win the 3rd round. I thought he looked pretty good. He won one of the rounds. I can't remember. I watched that fight earlier this week. But there was a round where Matthew Semelsberger won. There was people on Twitter who thought that Matthew Semelsberger won, but I thought that Chaos Williams did enough. It was a lot more conservative than we've seen from Chaos Williams, because I think he was trying to work on that element of his game. And yeah, Semelsberger was able to wear the power shots from Chaos Williams, though, which is certainly a good plus in your column. You can tell he's got a chin because he's got the death touch. Of course, common opponent between the two, and Chaos was able to KO Alex Morono with the first flush land that he connected with. So you can't put any stock in MMA math, but it was a decent performance in a loss. He certainly didn't get blown out, and then he gets the KO over Martin Sano, who was just the guy who was on the card because Nick Diaz wanted him to be on the card, and Semelsberger takes care of business in that one, as he should have. Jason Witt, another very early knockout. Jason Witt does not have the best chin, can't really take a punch, but he takes care of business again, 16 seconds, just does exactly what you would want to do there if you're looking to move up. And then Carlton Minus, no longer with the promotion, he wins a pretty well-rounded decision there. And with Semelsberger, former football player, big dude for the weight class, keeps a lot of power in his hands. I would say that Morono has better movement, but it's not like Semelsberger doesn't move well. He's starting to use his offense more, but with just some of the opponents he's gotten recently, you're just not going to see a lot of cage time out of him with like Martin Sano. And then Jason Witt, listen, like Jason Witt isn't like a terrible fighter. It's just he doesn't really have a chin. He's not just a guy who you're going to detonate in the first round, but he does get knocked out a fair amount. So he got that one done. But yeah, he lacks like the big signature win win, but it doesn't really matter. He's 4-1 in the UFC. He's looking good, and people are pretty high on him. But for this fight, man, I look at the line and it's a little odd to me. We got Matthew Semelsberger at -170, Alex Morono at +145. I see this as a dog or pass situation, and Alex Morono at +145. I'm gonna have to slam that for sure. I definitely like both of these guys. I've bet both of these guys in the past. I think that maybe Semelsberger has a little bit of a higher ceiling, maybe only because Alex Morono has been in the game for so long. But that's why I'm picking Alex Morono. I just think there's more to his game. I think he's got better movement. I think he's got better volume. I think that he's got enough of a chin. Like, I think maybe people are overrating Semelsberger's power a little bit because these guys he's knocked out in the first round are not that great. The guys he's beaten by decision are not that great. So, again, MMA math and opponent quality isn't the only thing. I mean, opponent quality is not MMA math. I definitely take stock in opponent quality. And while I think Semelsberger is good, I just see this as more of like an even, like a pick'em fight where I probably just avoid it. But at +145, I'm going to take an underdog shot on Alex Morono for sure. So thanks for watching, guys. Sure, subscribe and take it easy.